Hi, 7th graders. Today we are going to continue working on the 5D process. You will need to make sure that you write your title down, which is 5.3.3 Strategies for Using the 5D Process, and make sure you turn your homework in and open your book to page 298. Pause the video, and when you have all of your things out, you can start it again. Okay, the opening for 5.3.3 says, how do I use the 5D process? Strategies for using the 5D process. Math is used to solve challenging problems that apply to daily life. For example, how much fresh water is on the planet? How many area codes for phone numbers are needed in a city? Where should a city build transportation lines such as a city bus systems and subways to reduce traffic on the freeways? Mathematics can provide helpful insights for the answers to these questions. When you are trying to solve a new and challenging problem, it is useful to have a strategy. The 5D process that you learned about in lesson 5.3.2 will often work when you are trying to solve a problem you have not seen before. In this lesson, you will practice using this process to solve more word problems. You will also compare the different ways that the classmates use the 5D process to help them. Be sure to write your work neatly and be prepared to justify your reasoning. As you work using the 5D process, consider the following questions. How can we describe the problem? How can we decide how to label the columns? How can we organize the columns? Okay, you should have a packet that has all of these resource pages in it, and that will help you answer the questions today. 5.1.15 says a scalene triangle has 3 unequal side lengths. The medium length side is 7 centimeters longer than the shortest side. The longest side is twice as long as the shortest side. The total perimeter is 39 centimeters. What are the lengths of the sides of the triangle? So on your resource page, you see that the problem is written for you, and then you need to work on the describe and draw. So in the describe and draw, you are describing what you know about the problem, and then you can draw a picture to help explain your thinking. So something that we know in the problem is that there are 3 unequal sides. Another thing that we know is that the medium length side, I'm going to write ML for medium length side, is 7 centimeters longer than the shortest side. And we know that the longest side is twice as long as the shortest side. So I'm going to do longest side equals twice the shortest side. So that'd be 2 times the shortest side. And then I'm going to add another column and say that the perimeter is equal to 39 centimeters. So when I add my medium length side, my long side, and my short side together, I should equal 39 centimeters. Now I can also draw a picture of the triangle. So they have to have 3 unequal side lengths. And if I say that this is the shortest side, this is the longest side, and this is the medium length side, I know that the medium length side is equal to 7 centimeters longer than the shortest side. So I can do 7 centimeters plus the shortest side. The medium length, the longest side is equal to 2 times the shortest side. And I don't know anything else about the shortest side. Okay, now in the define column, I need to decide what things I am finding. So for this problem, I know that I have to find 3 different things. So I'm going to split the define into 3 columns. And for mine, I'm going to go from shortest to longest. So I'm going to start with the shortest side. The shortest side. Then I have the medium length side, and then I have the longest side. I know that I guess my shortest side because I don't know anything else about it. Then from that I can decide 2 times the shortest side is the longest side, and 7 centimeters plus the shortest side is the medium length side. So for trial 1, all you're going to do is start by guessing. I like to start with numbers that are easy to use, so I'm going to choose 10. So if I choose 10 for my shortest side, my medium length side is 7 centimeters longer than that. So I would add 10 plus 7 would give me 17 for the medium length side. And then the longest side is 2 times the shortest side. So then I would have 2 times 10 would be 20. And then in the do part, I have to do whatever math I need to do to figure out the problem. In this case, I'm finding perimeter, so I'm going to add. So I have 10 plus 17 plus 20 equals 47, and then I need to decide, is that equal to 39? And my answer here would be no, and it is too big. So I know for my next trial, I need to guess something smaller. But 47 isn't too far away from 39, so I don't have to guess too much smaller. What I'm going to try is 7. So if I pick 7 as my shortest side, then for my middle length side, I would do 7 centimeters plus the shortest side. So my middle side would be 14 centimeters. And then for my longest side, it's 2 times the shortest side. So 2 times 7 would also be 14. Then to find the perimeter, I need to add all my sides together. So then I'd have 7 plus 14 plus 14 equals 14 and 14 is 28, and 28 plus 7 is 35. So 35 would be no when I decide because it's not equal to 39. So it's no because it's too small. I'd like you to pause the video and try trial 3 on your own and see if you can figure out what the answer is. Hopefully you found the answer is the short side is 8, which makes the medium length side 15 and the longest side 16. And when you add them together, you get 39. So I know that my answer is correct because we wanted to find a perimeter of 39 with each of our numbers different. So for declare, you need to write a complete sentence. So we wanted to find the lengths of the sides, so I would start with the side lengths are, the short side is 8, the medium length side is 15, and the longest side is 16. Make sure you have yours written in a complete sentence. Okay, then if you want to turn to the next problem. 116 says Travis and Angela were playing a Guess My Numbers game. Angela told Travis, I'm thinking of 2 positive numbers. The difference of my numbers is 4, and the product of my numbers is 96. What are my numbers? Help Travis find Angela's number. Okay, so for this one, for describe and draw, you need to write what you know. So I know that I have 2 positive numbers. The difference is 4, and the product is 96. And remember, the word product means to multiply. So when I multiply the 2 numbers together, I should get 96. Now in define, they have the 2 numbers split up for you. So I know that I need to find 2 numbers. So I need to pick 2 positive numbers where the difference is 4 and the product is 96. So the first thing I'm going to do when I guess my numbers is figure out a difference of 4 And then in my do, I'm going to find the product. So it'll be the first number times the second number. And we want those to equal 96. So my first number I'm going to pick, how about we do 12, and the second number as 8, because that's 4 difference. So then if I multiply 12 times 8, you take a second and do that on your own, you should get the answer as 96. So for that one, right away we know that it's yes. So I know that the difference between these two numbers is 4, and when I multiply them together I get 96. So in declare, I'm going to write the two numbers they were thinking of were 12 and 8. Okay, for your next problem, I'm going to read it and then I'm going to have you try it on your own. It says the Potter Valley basketball team did not record how many baskets each player made during the last game. Jenny remembers that she made 3 times as many baskets as Grace. Alexis knows that she made 6 more baskets than Grace. Joan thinks she made 4 fewer baskets than Grace. Tammy is sure that she made the same number of baskets as Joan. Altogether, the 5 players made 40 baskets. How many baskets did each player make? So the first thing you need to do is write in the describe and draw what you know from the problem. Please pause the video and play it again when you have the describe and draw finished. So what I did is I went through and I wrote how each girl would find their total and how they related to each other. So now in the define part, it's split up into 5 pieces. You need to figure out which goes into each of the 5 pieces. So please pause the video and fill in the top row of define and then play again when you think you have it. Found each of the 5 columns are for each of the 5 girls. Now I'd like you to fill in this do section and tell me what you need to do once you find each of their numbers. Hopefully you wrote that you needed to add all the scores together, and then in the decide, you're going to end up deciding if it's equal to 40 or not. So I would like you to start with guessing what each girl's score was. So if you notice Jenny's, you need to figure out what Grace's was first. The same for Alexis, you need to know what Grace's was to start, and Joan, you also need to know Grace's. And Tammy is equal to Joan, who also had to know Grace's score first. So what I would do is I would start with guessing Grace's score. So maybe try guessing 2 for Grace, and then fill in the rest based on that. So I'd like you to pause the video and then decide what each of the other girls' scores are if we think that Grace's score is 2. Please pause the video and do that now. If you pick 2 as Grace's score, Joan and Tammy would end up with negative scores, which can't work. So for trial 2, I want you to try a number that you think could work for our scores to equal 40. Please pause the video and try this now. After you finish your work, you arrived at the same answer as mine. So I started with Grace, ended up being 6, and that would make Alexis 12, Jenny 18, Joan 2, and Tammy 2, and when I add all those together they equal 40. So I know that I arrived at the right answer. So for declare, you have to write a sentence stating what the answer is. So my answer would be Jenny scored 18, Alexis scored 12, Grace scored 6, and Joan and Tammy scored 2 baskets each. That ends up with a total of 40. So now that we've practiced the 5D process a couple times, I want you to try number 118 on your own. After you do that, you can see your teacher for homework. Good luck.